Hello and welcome back to Advanced Tactics Gold Edition. We're playing as United States in World War II, May 1st, 1939, as you can see up here. We haven't done much yet. We've just set up a few orders for our city. Let's go ahead and go to the next turn and see what everybody else does. And turn, yes, please. And now we're going to see the screen kind of flash by here. All the other regimes are moving. And don't worry, we're notified here if something happens in our neck of the woods. So here we have an overview. We got more supplies. That's right, I didn't do anything about the supplies. Okay, political points 4, 20 riflemen, and 6 cav units. No losses here in supply. So I don't think anything happened that we have to worry about. If it did, it would show up here. No history, yeah. But we did expand out here. So that looks interesting. Let's go take a look at Russia though and see what they did. Remember last time they were just in Moscow? They should have expanded automatically. One, they did, and then they're moving units down the road. Makes sense. They want to take over Anchorage. Remember Anchorage? Worth 2 victory points over there. But we do have Anglo-Saxon people living there, so we want to take control if we can. We also expanded into this raw, so right now, +6. That's a level 1 raw, I think. Level 1, yeah. We can upgrade it later with engineers, which we might want to do. We'll see how that goes. But for now, we have our one unit here, which, by the way, has a power of 68. Kind of an arbitrary number, reflecting all the units inside that. All the subformations inside that unit. And we have our leader here, Daniel Campbell of Supreme HQ. He can control 66 staff, and he has 10 right now. And he gives a bonus to, combat bonus and morale bonus to our units as well. But I know we have 6 cav now. Let's go ahead and create another unit. Another formation that we can then go ahead and send off into the countryside. To do that, I can just create it right now if I wanted to, but I think I want to create a blueprint that kind of sets the type of the unit. And I'll show you what I mean here. If I go to the model designer, I can then create a new type of unit. So I'm not creating a unit, I'm just saying whenever I want this type, I can just select this and it's going to be set in this way. The name is going to be, I think I'm going to pick Cav Recon, like that. And here's a picture of what the counter will look like. Nothing right now. I'm going to pick a symbol for Cav, and then I'm going to pick a secondary symbol to indicate the size. And this would be here, company size, battalion size, regiment, brigade, division, and corps is how I see it. It's going to be a pretty small unit. Is it going to be company or battalion? Doesn't really matter. I'm going to go with battalion. So the way to read this, up here, I think that's just an indicator of our side, our United States, the flag that we have. And it's not the normal American flag. And this is our CAV symbol. That is a battalion size, strength 0. And what is this unit all about right now? Well, it's about a rifleman. This type of unit should have 1 rifleman. Well, that's obviously not right. Let's go down here and select it and say we want a different type. We want cavalry. There. So now we're saying 1 cav. That's not good, I think. We're going to go with a few more cav units there. We're going to do quantity, and we're going to say 5. Why 5? Well, I think I want a few, because each one of these guys will give us recon points to see into other hexes. So a couple of them would be good. And also I don't want to lose them. If I have 1, any kind of attack would mean I would lose them. So, and I'm also looking at the number here, stack points 5. If you have more than 50 in stack points, you get a penalty when you attack later on. So a quick, small unit that we don't have to spend too much resources on, but can still get out there and explore for us. So that's the cav, and I'm going to leave him at that. I think that's good. So now we have 1 blueprint. So let's go ahead and use that. We'll go to our HQ now, and we'll say in HQ hex, the hex that it's in. And you can do any hex you want of inside your territory. If you Pardon me. If you select a hex inside your territory, you have an option of creating a formation. Make new unit. I want to do that, though, in our capital, so I can transfer units. Well, I guess I could transfer them anyway along the train route here, but actually, I could probably do that. Let's go ahead and put a unit here, right next to the border. I'm going to do that. Make new unit, a new formation. Now, so there's our new unit. It doesn't have anything in it. It's of no specific type. we need an HQ for it. And that is basically saying that anytime it needs supply or any kind of unit formations added to it, let's say it loses a few in a battle, then it's going to ask for that from this HQ. We only have one, so let's go ahead and pick that. And now it becomes blue here on the left hand side. That means they're both the same. They report, it's the same structure. Basically, this unit reports to that. Now it's still empty though, so I'm going to go ahead and say that this unit should be of type Cav Recon. Change this model, and there it is. So the first Cav Recon battalion size with a power of 0. Yep, there are no units there. Right now we have full support from the HQ combat-wise because we are within 3 hexes. That's the distance. If you're outside that range, you take a hit of 20% for each hex you're outside. Also, the HQ has enough staff to fully support us here. And these numbers are important to provide combat bonuses and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pick my HQ again. And now we're going to transfer some units by selecting this, transfer T. So from the HQ to our cav unit, right there, we're going to transfer, I'm going to transfer 3. Remember we said 5 is what we want to have in this unit, but I think I'm going to create 2 of them, both with 3, and then we'll let the system fill in the other ones as we produce them. So do transfer. There it is. So now we have a strength of 2 because we have 3 cav units in there. And I'll show you, by the way, the recon I talked about before. You can see the recon points here, 5. So each unit here provides 5 recon points versus the, let me pull up the rifleman. Riflemen provide, right hand column is the rifleman. They provide 1. So it's much better to do reconnaissance with cav units than riflemen. So he's sitting out here now, and we have units there. How did we transfer? Well, we used the capacity that was on for this HQ unit. It had trains, and those are transport capacity that they provide. You can also have trucks and horses to do that as well. But trains are pretty powerful. They have a rail capacity of 4,000 there. But we'll look at that later. So we'll be able to transfer them over there. And now we're sitting here with only 60 AP though. That's because we were starting outside. If we started here, we would have 100. Over here, since they came in on the railroad, they already took some of our action points away. And we use those to move. So right here, you can look at the status bar. We're going to cost 25 to get here, and then it's going to cost 50 to get there. And then we're going to be having 10 left, and we can't move. So let's move up here. There it is, our cav. We can't auto-expand in there this turn. Next turn, we will get those 2 under our control. So that's a good one. I'm going to do another one. Let's do formation, and then we're going to say HQ. It's going to be the same one. We're going to have 1. And we're going to say that this, and I have to select it here. No, actually, it's down here. Whatever you've selected here is what this relates to. So I can say the model should be Cav Recon again, and that would be our second unit, but second battalion of Cav Recon. Let's go ahead and transfer a few units over, and we'll do the remainder of the Cav there. Do transfer, and then let's take our Cav and move him, and I think I want to move him up north to take this raw. Raw is used to produce artillery, tanks, things like that. Let's move up here. I think we're still in good shape supply-wise. We can take a look at that in a minute. What else do we need to do here? Well, I think I have my 2 units that I want. I'm going to leave the rifleman here. We have 40, but I want to have probably, once we take Boston, I want to have a unit there, and I want to have maybe a garrison over here too, maybe up here by Anchorage. We'll see what the Russians do. Okay. So do we need to change our production? I'm not sure. More cav? Yeah, we want more cav because they have 3 each. We need 4 more, so let's go down to 20%. 5 more. Okay, we'll do that. And we'll do, maybe increase our supply a little bit and reduce our rifleman production. And supply, we can look here on this screen. Here's the stats screen. It's a lot of different stats, so we'll look at that more later. But there's a supply option here. And if you look here, production 444, and that's what we're producing now. Supply out 28. So we're going to be accumulating supply. And you can see down here, we already have 808 in stock here. And the reason it shows up here is because New York is producing it. Their HQ is the Supreme HQ, so all the supply ends up there. We'll see what we'll do in the future with more HQs, and we're going to need it because if you look here, HQ 80%. Why? 1, 2, 3. We are 4 hexes away, 1 outside the maximum range, so for every hex we'll go down in 20% in HQ. So that would be a combat modifier of 50% of what they can do, morale. Okay, this is what we get here in this unit here. If you look, this is what their modifier is right now. If we just put our cursor over there, we can see that they get a modifier from the HQ based on the distance and based on what we have in the HQ. So Daniel Campbell here is improving, and then they have a fully staffed, but we're outside the range. Yeah, it gets involved, but we'll look at that when it comes to comes to battles. So I think that's all I want to do, right? Get more political points. I want to get that because if you look here under decision room, we only know about Rangers right now, and Rangers are special. They are something that only the Anglo-Saxons know about. Those are kind of an improved version of riflemen, but we can't research any of these here, like a machine gun. It's a very good defensive type of unit. Costs 24 political points. We have 26. Could do it now. I want to hold back a little bit. We'll see what we go for here in the next couple of turns. All right, it's June 1st. It's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next turn. And I'm very curious to see what the Russians are going to do up there in Anchorage. They're going to cross that first river, right, and take over Anchorage. Hopefully they don't get too far down the road. And here's our turn. All right, so we did expand. See there's Chicago. And we have now taken quite a bit more. That's good, but what happened up there in Anchorage? Ooh, it's just outside the city. And we're nowhere near, right? Okay, so Chicago here is, well, if you look at New York City, it is green background. That means it's fully healed. You can get damage. You can see here, New York City has 4,000 structural points. If it gets bombed, it goes down and it becomes red. Now, Chicago is great because we haven't said that there should be an HQ for it. So anything it produces doesn't go anywhere. We got to pick an HQ. I'm going to pick the one we have. There, and now it's red. Why is that? Well, when you take a neutral city, you start out with 0 structural points. It's going to auto-repair 300 points per turn, so we don't have to worry about it. But it will take a while. You can see the bar here on the right side shows how close they are to being fully repaired. Right now, 0. So it doesn't matter what we put the production to here. We will put production. We're not going to get anything out of it. 0 points. That's because it's not repaired yet. But when it does come out, I think I want to just set it to political points for now so I don't forget. So I want to have something in there. And we'll get a few points out of them. And we can go back here, actually, and say production overview. And we can see Chicago and New York both reporting back in. But we don't get anything out of it right now. Now, we're still producing our cav here. Don't think I need more cav, right? If you remember, we transferred 3 over to our cav units, but we had the model say that that type of unit should have 5. Well, if you look now at our cav, has 5, and that's because we used our HQ with its 2 trains to do that, and there's still 1 cav left. So we sent out 4, we produced 5. Let's take a look at that maybe real quick here. We go to log and requested out. So what kind of requests came into this HQ from its subordinate units? Well, 4 of the calves came in. That's these 2. And we sent out 4. So that's good. So we are in good shape here. And we used a rail capacitor there to do that. Okay, so we still have more. We have more stock now. That's good. More stock of supply there. So I don't want to produce, I think, cav. What do we want to do? Well, eventually I want to have some kind of garrison unit. And I think we did say, what do we have? We have 53 riflemen now. That's pretty good. What should I replace that with? The cav. Well, we also have engineers we want to get. Engineers are going to let us improve raw resources and things like that, but maybe not right away. Instead, if I build that garrison I was talking about in Boston, I'm going to be having more units, and already our staffing level is going down. Our 10 staff is not going to cut it. So what if I go ahead and say, right now, let's go ahead and create a few more staff. Yep, so what's happening here, we have a little bit left over from last time. I'm not going to worry about that. There's 0.1 left of the cav. It's more important once you have something really expensive, like a cruiser or something like that. So 6 staff, is that what we want? Yeah, probably we'll go with 6 staff. Keep the supply high, political points as well. That's good enough for now. But let's go ahead and move our units. So the first, let's see, it kind of reverted here. It will come back. The picture doesn't show the way it was before. I think there's a little glitch in the software there. Well, let's go ahead and move our cav unit here. I'm going to pick move, and I have 100. How much does it cost to get here? It costs 100. Okay, let's go up the road. I'm just following the road, and this green bar here is our readiness. 100% readiness. That is a direct modifier to your combat value. So if you have 50 readiness, that means your combat stats go down by 50%. Very important to keep that high. Here is our second unit. We're going to move him up too. Now, this is quite far away, right? And we have supplies. How does that work? Well, if we go to our supply symbol here, we select the unit that we want to see supply for and select the gas can here. And we can see here there's green all the way through here. And then up here, it's not so good. Keep an eye on the status bar. We can see here 147 AP out of 250. As long as you're under 100 AP cost for the supply to get through. And you can see here, it costs 1 AP to go on the road here. And then crossing here costs another 25 for a total of 26. Another one here, another, and so forth. If you cross over 100, here it's 87, and here it's 107. Then you go down to, you get a 25% supply penalty. So they're not going to get all the supply that they want. And here in blue, they're going to get a 50% penalty instead. You can also have a red penalty that's 25% or 75% penalty. And then if you go above 250, I think it is, then you don't get any supply at all. Right now, he requested 23 supply in this turn when we started down here in the green, and he got 23. That's good. They also have 20 on hand. Next turn, they're only going to get 75% of that. So keep that in mind, but we're not going to stay here for too long. We're going to make sure we just capture that and head on back, I think. And what is the impact if you don't have enough supply? Well, your readiness goes down, so that could be really, really bad. Let's say you go down to 10%. I think that's the lowest you can get. 10%, that means your combat strength goes down from, whatever it is, to 10% of that. So that's going to be quite bad. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of that. I think this guy is okay. Why is he okay? He's equally far away. Well, because he's on the road. A road only costs 1 AP for supply. So, in fact, all the way over here only costs 8 AP. So you can see why we would want to have roads in strategic locations. Okay, we moved. We set our production. And this, unfortunately, this game, you got to keep an eye on your production. You don't want to lose that. And it's hard enough to play the game and talk and also pay attention to that. But hopefully I can do okay most of the time. I'm not an expert at the game. It sounds like I am, but I'm not. So there could be a few things in there. I'm not telling you the right how it really works, but so be it. So here's our next turn. We have 5 victory points. Where do we get that from? 4 from New York City, 1 from Chicago. And we are producing 13 riflemen, 6 staff. I like that. And we get some ore and oil. Why do we get that? Well, because we have taken these 2. So we're getting 83 oil, and as you can imagine, it's used to power our tanks and things like that need oil. So now we have quite a few units here in HQ. 16 staff now, 202%. That's good. 66 riflemen. I think I'm going to create a garrison here next turn. By the way, what about our second? Oh, there it is. It's back now, the symbol. Second battalion, second cavalry battalion, right, with the power of 6. Here you can see, by the way, that little green dot square there shows that we have enough supply for the unit to function. They requested 10 in, I guess. They got 7. That's because we got that 25% reduction, right? And if you look here, if we go back to supply screen, we expand it out. If I go up here, we're going to lose. We're not going to get as much next turn, but I think I need to go up here to get this rock quickly. Let's go up here into the forest. There. And don't worry about that. That now shows a little bit different view. If I pick it again, there, you can see we're now in red. 75% supply penalty because we're outside 200 AP. It costs to get up there with a supply. So we're going to get very few supply left, but I think I might be able to return next turn because we'll auto-expand up to the raw anyway. Okay, let's go ahead and go away from that view, and then let's take a look at Anchorage and see what happened up. Yeah, look at that. They crossed into Anchorage, and they are on the other side of the river as well. Okay, can we actually do something about that? Now we can get to the oil, but we cannot quite. They're going to auto-expand there, aren't they? Okay, nothing we can do about that. We're producing something in Chicago now, I think. Let's take a look at Chicago. We have 1,200 points. It says 0 here, but if we look, 0.8 is what we're going to get. So it's going to keep that on hand, and next turn we'll get that. So you'll never lose anything, unless you switch. So that's going to be the same, but do we really want to do the same thing here? Staff. I don't think I need more staff now, do I? Well, no, I think I'll do. Let's get more staff, because I'm thinking we're going to have a front line with the Russians here. We're going to need an HQ up there. Why? Well, because then we can have that HQ, maybe with a leader even, influence the units. Remember, they have to be within a range of 3 to get full influence. So probably good to have a HQ up there. So let's go ahead and keep on getting riflemen and staff for now. Keep on accumulating our political points. We'll see what we'll do with them when the time comes. I think I'm okay with it. Yeah, so let's leave it at that for now and go to the next turn. And we'll take a look and see what the other nations are up to as well. I'm sure they've expanded. It's going to be interesting to see if they expand into expected areas or not. The turns will take longer, but not too bad, I don't think, even later in the game. Okay, so here we have what we produced. We got some riflemen. Yeah, we know what all these mean. And there's no... Oh, wait. There is information history. Let's take a look at it. So we're on the history screen here. You'll see a blow by blow what happened. Step 0 out of 1. So there's only one thing that happened. Okay, there. This hex here was... We saw that from here. Okay, that makes sense. Somebody is close by there, right? And that's all we can look at right now. You can see battles and as well here. We'll look at that more later. Let's go back to the Anchorage area. That's the one I care about the most. So they've taken here, Russia. We cannot expand here, but we can expand there. I might want to... Here's what I'm thinking. There's a road here. That looks like there's a bridge there, yeah. There's a road up to Anchorage, and there's a river. That's going to be tough to break through. If we can take... I don't want them to come in here and try to attack us from here. We're not at war right now, but if we can take control over more of this area, I don't know how far we can get. Let's see. Maybe go up all the way to the border. A little bit of a chance. They could attack us there. We're going to be in a forest. I think that gives us a modifier. Okay, so we took this now. And they're going to auto-expand. We'll see how it goes up here. We'll try to take as much as possible. And let me see if I can... excuse me. If I can figure out the modifier here. Okay, so here's the modifier. Our cav attacking, we get a negative modifier enforced. If we attack into one, that's all. That's not very good. No defensive modifier at all. Okay. So that is that. We took the oil. Good. They have a unit there. They cannot move into our territory. That's fine. And I think we'll cut them off. Yeah, we're going to take that raw. We'll probably cut them off here, I think. Auto expansion. 1 per turn. Oh, we have red here. That means we didn't get very much supply. We got 3. We still have 10 on hand. So let's go out and head on south before we get too low and our redness takes a hit. Let's head on back down here. I think that will be fine. Yep, that's green. So now next turn we'll get full supply again. And I think we took Boston. Yes, we did. Excellent. So Boston, what are we going to do with Boston? Well, the HQ, well, we know what that's going to be. That's our Supreme HQ. And production, I'm going to go with supplies for... not supplies, political points for now. Okay, good. Let's take a look. Now we have 3, so it's going to be more important to have this screen here. Okay, all reporting there. Chicago is producing, yeah, 2 political points. Excellent. And then 4 here, so we're getting 6 now, 38. You can see here that what we're getting produced here. This would be staff, and then riflemen over there. And, yeah, the question is what we should do. I think I will... Well... What we'll do is we'll create a garrison unit. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and set one up that we can produce to have in a couple different places. So let's go to our model designer. That way we only have to do it once. Add unit. We're going to call it... I'm going to call it garrison. And the symbol for Garrison, oh, we have a lot. They're kind of small, but I could pick, maybe I'll pick a different type of infantry here. So I'm thinking the Garrison should be mainly riflemen with some support weapons, maybe like machine gun, AT gun, something like that. So we'll go with an infantry symbol, but the yellow one, so we know that's the Garrison. And it's going to be of size, it's going to be pretty large, maybe a brigade size. Yeah, let's go with that. That's a brigade size. And yep, we're going to have riflemen, but I think I want maybe, should we do 30 riflemen? Yeah, let's do 30. Kind of arbitrary. So our stack points there are 30. But that's not enough. I think this type of unit should have more formations. So let's add a formation. And there it is. One rifleman. Nope, that's not right. And I think I want to pick machine guns. Machine guns are very good defensively. How many should we go for? Let's do 5. Okay, so 5 machine guns. Should we do something else too? Yeah, let's add another formation. And we'll go with formation. We'll do AT guns against tanks. I'm worried about that otherwise. Maybe just 3. That will give us a stack points of 50. But so we'll put a couple of these. Maybe we'll put one in Boston, one in New York City, maybe elsewhere as well. So a Garrison, they'll kind of stay put. They're going to be really slow to move because right now the movement type is artillery, the slowest movement type here. There's nothing to help them move. We could add some horses to them if we want them to be flexible, but I don't really care about that. I want something that can defend. So let's call them Garrison. So I think I want to put one right away in Boston because I am a little bit worried about... Okay, they're not up here yet. I was going to say they're expanding up. They're going to take Tripoli. Maybe they will try to invade. If they do, I want to have at least one unit here. So let's go ahead and create one though. There. And we're going to say formation. HQ should be this one. And then the type should be our new Garrison. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to have it auto-populate because I don't think they should attack me right just yet. They're too far away. They wouldn't have. I mean, I don't think so. Build a cargo ship and transport it up there and then attack that particular area right away. If we were worried about that, then it would be good to select our HQ and say transfer over, use some subformation over there, but we're not going to worry about that. So what's going to happen is next turn is that New York City, well, not New York City, but the HQ is going to try to use its trains to supply this unit here, the 1st Garrison Brigade, with, well, 30 riflemen, 5 machine guns, and 3 anti-tank, and it doesn't have all that, so we'll see what happens. Okay, that's one there, and I think maybe I'll produce one more in New York City. Should we do that? Or maybe one up here. Now that is interesting, isn't it? Because if we do one here, we can keep the oil, keep one unit back in case he comes rushing in. Yeah, I might just do that. Let's pick a formation. HQ. Way back here. Okay, we'll do that. He's going to have 0 in HQ there. Well, the staffing level is fine. The HQ support level here is not good. Okay, so we're going to pick him, and he's going to be a Garrison. The 2nd Garrison Brigade. And let's do one more here then. So I'm spending 1 political point every time I do this. All right, and then we'll say he should also be of type Garrison. So the 3rd one is here. You can see here, cycle through them by clicking, or we can also select this button here. We can see both of them together. Okay, so we moved our cav, and we moved this cav up here. Let's see if he attacks us next turn. And then let's see here about our production. Total numbers, riflemen 13, staff 7, political points 6. I think I still want that. Do I need more trains? Because I'm going to try to send out units here. Maybe what we want to do is, instead of staff, how much do we have right now? We have 23. 247 coverage, and that's because we don't have very many units. I think I still want staff. We'll see how it goes. Maybe next turn we'll go ahead and produce more trains. Let's take a look at the other ones now, the other nations. So up here we have Russia. They took Anchorage. Moscow. They've taken raw oil. Auto-expanding here, it looks like. They have not moved down towards St. Petersburg. Ooh, okay, Vladivostok. But look, the Germans are right around the corner from Vladivostok, taking Munich already and Hamburg. And they're expanding down south here to oil and Shanghai. The Chinese, well, the Chinese are coming up here from the south, it looks like. They took Liaoqing. This Rosk, they're going to get that. Only auto expansion here, it looks like. So, yeah, it looks like the Germans and the Chinese are going to be in conflict here. They're at war right away, remember that. And if we go further to the west, remember there's a research lab down here. Yep, not taken. It's unoccupied. Look at the status bar. Le Havre is unoccupied. What are the French up to? Bordeaux. They took Toulouse and some of the resources around there. Heading on up, it looks like, to Lyon. That makes sense. Okay. Are they heading? Yeah, they're heading down southwest to Casablanca as well, even though these people there are Arabs. Okay. So they are not up here, but I think we're going to see a conflict in this general area here between France, Russia, and Germany. So what is the Arabs up to? The Arab League? I think they were just... We looked at that already, right? They were expanding up to Tripoli. Yep. And then south here as well. They're probably going for it, getting that port, getting into Casablanca eventually. Okay, well, I think that will have to do it for this time, guys. I will be back with more from Advanced Tactics Gold. Bye. Hey guys, this is Time and Tactics. Thank you very much for watching the video. It sure helps me out a lot. If you'd like, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and or that like, and I will see you in the next video.